Hi there, this is Scott, and I am about to fix my tail wing on my Super Cub Mini, here as you can see. Over on this side here, right there, the elevator flap is broken. I tried to glue it into place here as you can see, but it didn't come out very well, and it doesn't level out at all. So it just kind of keeps turning to the left a little bit. So we're going to have to remedy that. We have our parts over here. We have our new elevator and rudder, as you can see, with the accessory parts over here. And we have a scalpel. We're going to be using this as well. And we're going to also be using some Zappo foam safe glue. So to start off with, we're going to start with taking the tail wing off, which you're going to basically use a scalpel going along the underline here. You're then going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. And right in here, you're going to run it in along here both sides. And you should pull it with fair ease. You have to be careful not to break the actual tail off of it, but it should come out with some pretty easy without any major problems. Hopefully anyway. So I'm just going to take the scalpel and I'm going to run it in along here just a few times on both sides. I'm going to do it on this side as well. Make sure you don't cut any of the actual fuselage off. You don't want to lose the fuselage. You just want to kind of loosen up the wing here itself. And we're going to turn it around here. And we're going to do the same to the other side here. The top section, right there, and right there. And then we're playing around with it a little bit. It might take a little bit of force, but you got to be super careful with it. And there you go. So there's your tail piece that's totally off the plane, as you can see. It's still in pretty good shape. I could possibly save this section here, but there are a few dings and pieces of damage to it, so I probably won't save it or reuse it. So now you can see you've got the two pit holes here, and you've got the slot here for your wing, for your rudder. So I'm just going to set that down, and I'm going to open up our new one. Just set that stuff aside. And that's our new tail elevator. That's our new rudder. Right there, as you can see. And the parts were pretty cheap. They were $7.95, I think I paid for them. So it's not like it's super expensive to do this on your own. Most hobby stores charge you between $25 and $40 an hour to fix things, and this probably take about an hour. So there we go. Alright, so now we're going to take the new wing and the old wing. Oops. Set that back there. We're just going to take a look at it and just compare the two, make sure they're both same size, and just check to make sure that these are going to go on the same way. You've got your little slots down here for them. So first things first, we're going to want to put our slots in here. So as you can see, you're going to put this into the left hand side of the rudder. So it's going to go in on this side like this. and you just want to make sure it's all correct by the forward piece going forward, the same as the old one. So we're just going to slide this into here. Now if it doesn't fit easily, you may have to make a little bit of an extra incision on it. But there you go. Just slid in like that, no problem. And you're going to want to put your backing on it. Just to make sure I'm putting the backing on the same way. So the clips are to the outside, up and down. So you're going to want to put the clips on like this. It should slide on just like that. If it doesn't, you might have to go the... Oh, there we go. And it doesn't want to seem to clip on there for me. With this piece here, you gotta probably force it just a little bit more than... There we go. Just want to make sure both, there's a little clasp in there, you want to make sure both the top side and the bottom side are clipped into place. There we go. So you heard both clicks, they're both clicked into place, and that's firm in there, so that's not going anywhere. So as you can see, it's set up the exact same way as the old one was. Okay, so now for the next one, set that down there. We're going to do the same thing with our other one. So as you can see, it goes from the top to the bottom, and you're going to have it set up so that this is the little bend in at the elbow and it is going forward, just like that, as you can see there. So you're going to pick up. So now the biggest thing with this one here is you want to make sure you got it right side up. So because there's nothing on it to differentiate the right side from the left side, you want to make sure that this little slot's on your right hand side when you're looking at it from the back. So you're going to slide this up through the bottom here. Should go pretty easy. If it doesn't, like I said before, make a little incision. Shouldn't make any difference. And then we're going to go like this and slide this on. And it's got a clip in. There you go. You got both clips. Little clicks there. So that's on there firmly. That's not going anywhere either. So now, this is the tail piece. As you can see, there's a little plastic piece here that holds the upright and the elevator on it. And you're going to want to make sure that the wide section is at the front and the narrow section is at the back. You're going to take it, you're just going to fit it into place here. Make sure it's nice and snug. So there you go, that fits fine. So now we're just going to apply a little bit of glue to it, not a lot. Just remember, you want to make sure it's firm, but you want to make sure that if it ever happens again, you can still take it apart without any drastic measures. So just a few little drops along the outside edge, just enough to get it to be adhesive and firm in there. And as you can see, at the back there, it's all the way down to the bottom, and at the front, it's all the way in there as well. So then what you're going to do, once that's on, you're going to take and you're going to put this through here. Just going to run that up there a little bit. There you go. So that's on there fine. So everything, as you can see, is set up just like the old one. Exactly the same. The only difference is the decals on it, which, well, you can replace yourself, or you don't have to. You can just leave them off. If you're new to flying like I am, you may be replacing it a few times anyway, so it doesn't make much sense to go out and buy new decals every time you crash one of these things, because they're just going to cost you more and more money. So you want to take just a little bit of glue, not a whole lot. Same thing. You want to make sure that you can still take it off if you need to, and just apply a couple dabs of it. If I can get some glue out of here, it'll be doing something. A few little dabs along just the little ribs there. You don't need much. Like I said, you want to make sure that you're able to remove this if you really need to again. Just hold it for a couple of seconds to make sure it's nice and firm. So then, once it's firm like that, it's nice and flat. You want to make sure that it's flat on all sides. It's perfectly elevator. Both sides are perfectly done. There's no problems with it. Just want to make sure it's still attached nice and firmly. So now you're just going to take a little bit of glue. You're going to apply it to these posts. You want to go kind of liberal on these ones here, just because they are what holds it in place. Kind of the backbone of it. And then you're going to go to the back end of the plane here, and you're going to apply it just like it was previously. Oh, I actually forgot to glue a little bit here. I want to glue this little forward piece here. Make sure that it's got a little bit on it. Hold it into place. And so it's going to go in like that. And the whole piece is going to slide in place. Just like that. Hold it for a few seconds to make sure it's nice and firm in there. You want to make sure, take a look all the way around it and just make sure that it's nice and snug, that there's no little air pockets or anything like that, or that it's not off center at all, just because that's going to put your plane off a little bit when you're flying it, of course. You want to take a look down the plane itself, make sure everything looks nice and straight. Make sure that your elevator flaps are nice and level. And then, of course, after this dries, you're going to give it a couple hours to dry. Make sure it dries really well. You don't want to obviously take it out and fly it for a day or so. But after this is done, you're going to basically take your little holders into place here. You're going to put them through these little gray slots, and you're going to reattach your wires here for your elevator and for your rudder that's attached to your servo, and you're ready to go. So I hope this was somewhat educational. I know this was my first time doing it, and so it went fairly smooth and pretty easy. As far as I'm concerned, this little plane's a pretty good little deal for what I paid for it. It's not too bad and takes quite a beating. Anyway, thank you very much. It's Scott signing off, and have fun flying, guys. Thanks.